Hey there folks, welcome back to Let's Play Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I'm the mysterious JG, also known as No Beard the Pirate. Used to wear a beard, don't wear a beard anymore. Bobo has a beard. Bobo could be like Bushbeard the Pirate. He's kind of a bushy beard. Anyway, yeah, as soon as I wasn't distracted by sea shanties anymore, almost immediately, upon being like, okay, this has got to be at another level of altitude, so let's just wander. Yeah, see, there's a waterfall behind it. You can find Eva telling Snake, "Quick, impersonating him!" And a treasure chest, which is the treasure chest that I had marked. So there you go. So they take advantage of the old, some of the old action fiction stuff, treasure chests, and secret caves hidden behind waterfalls, that sort of thing. Wild boars running away in fear, even though in real life they'd probably kick your ass. And what I was starting to say in the last video when we got distracted by being shot was that I used to watch a show called Crusoe that was on for a while and they took it off. It was probably kind of expensive and probably needed to be a mega hit and wasn't. But it's like a family-friendly show. Not even like necessarily like religious, like family-friendly, like, you know, teaching gospel values or whatever. It was like there was no religious overtones or anything like that. It was just an adventure series that didn't have sex or the type of violence that would have like bloodshed and would upset people. You don't really get a lot of shows like that anymore. It's too bad. And that was like kind of a fun show. I liked it for the short time it was on. And this game, the setting is now reminding me of it because, yeah, like Robinson Crusoe had like this little Ewok village adventure set he lived in. I gotta stop calling it Ewok village. The idea of like these tropical, like jungle paradise with these, you know, unusually ornate tree houses that have been built up is not something that came from the Ewoks. So anyway, that section of the island is like just completely cleared. I'm all out of having excuses to be wandering around over there other than to get down to hunting. Now you can see a big section of the map is red for some reason. And I'm standing right where a treasure box should be, and there's no treasure. Oh. Is this like irradiated over here? Am I gonna start getting rads? No. They don't have radiation suits in this game. No rad away. Looks like I'm already back to hunting for a treasure chest, because this is where this thing should
will do me just fine.
Restricted area. Extreme mellowness advised. But yeah, he sees a boat and he's like thinking of stealing it apparently. I was trying to dive off. Oh, but you know what I need to do is I need to, before I go to a new, like, jump down low, I should actually sync with this. Oh, like right there. See, I would have been pretty silly to have dove down without doing this first. I'm synchronizing in a restricted area. Restricted area, basically, there are areas on the map that are marked red. Anybody who's played through Assassin's Creed will remember this. There are guards who wander around everywhere, and as long as you're wandering around and not doing anything wrong, they won't give you a hard time. Now, doing something wrong is up to and including bumping into them. They will kill you for brushing against their shoulders. But when you're in a red area, then yeah, they're hostile on sight because you are not supposed to be there. And they basically just mean any enemy. It doesn't necessarily have to be official sanctioned guards of a government authority. Let's see if we can find where this fragment is. That fragment, as I suspected. We don't want to actually dive down if we want to get that fragment. These fragments usually involve getting to a fairly high elevation, in fact. And in this case, diving into some leaves.
I got them all sort of head to Kingston. We're to commandeer this lavish ship and follow.
Sorry, Kingston? No, our destination is Havana. I'm a merchant.
Quiet, you bleeding pirate. You'll hang for the mess you made out there.
Sir, I had nothing to do with this attack. My crew and I have merely anchored to water and resupply.
Stalking zones. Dense vegetation can be used as stalking zones. They allow you to hide and move undetected. Use them to approach targets stealthily. Yes, there's nothing like the old days of piracy and the various different categories of zones.
Hold it!
Hold it.
Stop them! Give me one reason I shouldn't vent your skull.
Take my sugar! Take anything you like!
Take my good stuff.
I'll pay you! Anything you like!
See, I'm using advanced
Oh God!
stalking techniques that don't really come up until later in the game. Like, they don't explain whistling until later, but I'm using it in advance because I'm
Take my
super
sugar!
cool.
Take anything you like!
See? Check out my assassin's vision. These dudes are all glowing red. It's pretty sweet.
I'll pay you!
Probably shouldn't have sprinted out there, but...
Oh God! Oh God!
Yeah, I will not be attempting a no-kill run of Assassin's Creed, folks. Anybody watching the Metal Gear stuff I do with Bobo, trying not to kill people? Yeah, Assassin's Creed. What do you mean, where do you think I'm going? You shouldn't even know that I'm here.
I'll pay you! Anything you like!
This guy appears to be immune from hearing.
Oh God! Oh God!
So did they shoot? Did somebody run over here, try to escape, and they shot him? I'm not sure.
Take my sugar! Take anything you like!
See, they're not actually going to kill him. I've got all the time in the world here, but... One of those guards was facing over here. Oh, no, maybe he wasn't. Maybe he does turn around periodically, but it seemed like...
Oh God! Oh God!
I don't know that I'm going to be able to kill all of these guys without them detecting me. I mean, they're right on top of each other here now. Okay, well... Luckily, these guys don't attack very much. Get behind him and ride him. You're one of the best. Oh, he's gonna shoot me. That doesn't seem sporting. Almost really screwed that up. You okay, buddy?
I'll pay you! Anything you like!
Carving you up even further. He is supposed to be floating in water, but in fact the game got a little bit confused about... Oh well. Super advanced video game technology, far, far beyond anything that I saw as a kid, and yet still, you get stuff like this. Stay right there, buddy. Here's the final indignity. Oh yeah, there we go. Yep. You know what? I'm a pirate. I don't allow conventions of norms to rule my life. My wife doesn't need to know about this. Sorry. Thumbtacks? What? Treasure maps. Find treasure maps on explorers' cadavers. They will lead you to a specific place on an island. Dig there, blah blah. Pretty self-explanatory stuff. Eventually, we are not going to be able to reach that island for a bit, so there's not a whole lot of point me worrying about it, but... Yeah! Just trying to do something to indicate...
Take my sugar! Take anything you like!
There's no squatting up and down solid snake style here. Like, yeah! Get along! Woo. Get along, does that make sense as a... You are buggering someone thing to say? Okay, so he will be annoying in the background, saying anything you like, oh! But at this point, we've collected everything except 2 little chests, and we are going to be leaving this area pretty much permanently once we talk to that guy. So,
Oh God! Oh God!
I wanted to go ahead and take care of all of our business here, because otherwise, at some point, we'd be vaguely obligated to come back. I'm sure once we have a boat, we can return to here, should we so desire. But it doesn't make sense to do so. So, if we've gotten everything that we need to get here, and we finish with the place, then so much the better.
Take my sugar! Take anything you like!
Take my sugar, take my spice, take anything that you might like.
I'll pay you!
Okay, dude, seriously, stop. Oh, okay, it's another waterfall cave one, so that's not too bad. Yeah, we pretty much got to the place that it looked like it was, and it wasn't there, so I figured that'd be another cave involved. So there you go, folks. Cape Bonavista, all full clear. All full clear. You see it. I'm just so slick with my use of like words and stuff. And once again, totally broke every bone in your body. Water is not that deep. Well, you can't really tell how deep it is here. Might be deeper than it looked initially. Take more sugar, take more sugar. You know, stop. He's kind of an irritating character. We won't be dealing with him for too long. Unless he pops up again later in the plot. Like, I had gotten far enough in the plot that we were no longer coming across the... And this, turtle, by the way, is our friend. It's, not something that we can hunt. This would be pretty fucked up if they let you hunt, animals that have since... are now almost extinct.
By God's grace, sir, you saved me. A profusion of thanks.
It's, Lord Alfred Hayes.
Is that yours? It is my vessel, yes. But here lies its poor captain.
Oh,
and
he's the guy who got killed.
I can pilot her myself, no mind.
You don't mean to abscond with my ship, do you?
I'm Duncan. What's your name, friend?
Steed Bonnet.
Well, Mr. Bonnet, let this stay twixt us. But I'm on a secret errand for His Majesty the King, God save him, and I must get to Havana with speed.
Ah, that is a relief, sir. Havana is also my destination. Our ways lie together.
Natural allies, then.
Ah, you put me at ease, sir. To think I took you for a pirate when you first appeared.
I don't know why he's
Yes.
pretending not to be a pirate with this guy.
Uncommon way of handling yourself. Quick and easy, if I may say. Gave me quite a fright. But all things considered, I think it's turned out to be a rather fortuitous day, hasn't
He
it?
killed a bunch of redcoat guards, didn't he? Weren't those British guards that were murdered? Can't really remember if they were British or Spanish. You,
Lacking a rowboat, I'm afraid
fight
we'll
quite a
have
few
to
of
swim
both.
to my ship.
Hardly the worst thing to happen.
Why, it took me 3 or 4 tries to get that one sea shanty. That was pretty bad.
This
Man,
is
he's gonna
difficult.
beat
I
me.
should have taken the coat off.
Yeah, he's gonna beat me because I'm using stealth swim. Mysterious. So I want to reach the ship's wheel. At which point this game will really start. It almost seems like I should be ending the video here. Hey, he does have a crew. Hi, crew guys. I thought he didn't have a crew. But he does have a crew. So, you know.
Welcome aboard, Duncan. She's a modest schooner, but well suited to my purpose, trafficking cargo from my plantation and such.
She'll do fine. There's a strong wind now. Let's strike to full, shall we?
And here is the sailing portion of the game. You, even once you're the captain of your own fleet, you will
There's a
always
tug of
personally
the
be
wind in
sailing
my
a
hair.
ship.
I find a bracing comfort in the feel and smell of the ocean. The raw stink of possibility.
Mm-hmm.
That's a top way of seeing it, mate.
Trim the yards off the wind!
But the navigating of the boat, it's way, way easier than it should be. Far, far more responsive than an ocean, a vessel in the ocean actually would be, as far as what little I know about it. And yet, it's still a pain in the ass. Like, I don't envy them. They had to find this delicate balance between
Those
complex
sailors are
enough.
not animated by the idea of pirates roaming these waters. Is it a real danger, do you suppose?
A possibility. But most pirates stalk the windward passage between Cuba and Hispaniola.
Oh, I see. Yes. That is a bustling strait.
Close up! Eat her
But
steak!
I shouldn't worry about being waylaid by pirates, truth be told. My ship is small, and I have nothing of immense value. Sugarcane and its yields, molasses, rum, that sort of thing.
There's not a pirate living who'd turn his back on a keg of rum.
Well, yes. Yes, I suppose that's true.
But yeah, it's way easier than it should be, and yet it's still pretty cumbersome. Because in reality, like sailing a boat like this involved like a large crew of people. You pretty much, like, depending on how many sails you have open, that's your speed, which would indicate that the wind is always coming from directly behind you. Occasionally there are, quote, storms where the game mechanics change and it gets a little bit harder to control. But no, it's like, it kind of operates like a video game car. Press the X button to go faster, to go forward faster, and then steer, which is not really how boats work. Well, not sailing boats. I don't know a fucking thing about it. Maybe sailing is much simpler than I realized if I studied it. But I don't feel like it should be quite as easy as all this. Hey, event. There's an event horizon we just witnessed. And there's going to be quite a bit of sailing in this game.
You're a natural sailor, Duncan.
I did a decent trick at the helm some time
You're
ago.
Dustin Rhodes.
2 years before the mast as a privateer.
Dash my buttons. Your life seems a grand one, if I may say. So full of adventure. How marvelous.
I've seen my share of strangeness,
Like that dude that I was doing up the butt because he was in prime position for it, floating on air, dead. That was pretty strange. Also, animus fragments and some kind of Mayan stone.
Fantastic work.
Nah,
Very
crap.
promising.
Yeah, I wasn't looking forward to this. Now, folks, the part of the Assassin's Creed games that never ceases to annoy me. In an effort to give the series an arching overall plot, even though they keep jumping around from one time period to another, something that first popped up in Assassin's Creed 1 and was easily the most irritating part of that,
There you go.
the
Welcome
modern
back.
day portion. Full of people in tight clothes.
Well, your numbers look good. Now let's make sure we can break your brain, all right?
Mm-hmm.
I need you to move your head and look at these lights just here. Look up. That's it. Down. So far, so good.
Pretty
Let's
exciting.
get you up. So, welcome to the Sample 17 project.
Uh-huh.
Before you get started, you're gonna need this.
It's a sea shanty.
There you go. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Hello, bonjour. C'est bon? It works?
I'm just gonna smile
All
at you
right.
a lot.
Let's take a walk. Your file says you've done some memory research
Don't think I
before,
actually
but
like
not
you or
to
anything.
this extent, which is surprising. You're very good. The data streams are very stable.
Mm-hmm. Tell me when I can get back to the piracy.
Impressive, right? This building is barely 6 months old, but Abstergo Entertainment has been a studio for a few years, since 2010.
Okay. So, here's the deal. I played Assassin's Creed. I didn't play 2 or 3 or Brotherhood or The Tyranny of King Washington. Or I saw various different Assassin's Creed games on the shelves. I enjoyed Assassin's Creed enough that I thought about picking them up, but no, in fact, I took a big hiatus from the series, and I'm only coming back to it now. So all sorts of stuff has happened in the modern day storyline, which is ongoing. And I really don't know that much about it. Except that in the very first game, they explain to you pretty much like you have a pre-story sequence where you're playing as an assassin. They always open with the assassin stuff because that's the part that's interesting. It's like they know this part is interesting. But in Assassin's Creed, you wake up and you're hooked up to some machine, and some scientist dude who's like kind of a jerk talks to you and explains that your ancestor was an assassin during the time of the Crusades, and he is working for like some kind of evil company that is trying to get. They're trying to like pick your brain, and they found some kind of crazy. It doesn't really make sense, folks. Genetics don't work this way, but they're like, you know, the sci-fi supposition is that the memories of your ancestors have been saved in your genetic information, and that they have the technology to go back and get your ancestors' memories by hooking you to a machine which will cause you to play through a simulation of their life. Which is why you'll see, for example, when you climb up on top of a tree, you see synchronize, and then it does this panoramic sweep and you can see everything. Well, apparently that's because you're synchronizing with your ancestor's memory or whatever. I don't even remember, have I died in this LP yet? Did I jump and fall to my death by goofing up? Anyway, and you do, it says something like synchronization lost, and the idea is that when your in-game avatar dies, that you have lost your synchronization with your own genetic memory of blah blah. It doesn't really make any sense, but the idea is that they're trying to get information from history by using you and your genetic memory. So in the first game, you are being held against your will. You have been basically kidnapped. You are in a facility. It's like, it doesn't appear to be like one crazy dude working on his own, because it's this big, built-up facility. Like clearly there's a lot of money behind this thing, and it's an evil corporation that is trying to get information from your memory. And there's an evil dude who's telling you about this, and his assistant is sort of a she's attractive. I can't remember. I guess she was kind of busty, but like, she's basically, you know, these games are for dudes, so they throw in this female character who's kind of nice to you and attractive and tries to encourage you. And it seems like at first it's a good cop, bad cop thing, but as the game goes on, she starts trying to help you, like, to kind of escape from this. But basically, you break into, between scenes of playing as an assassin, you play as this guy in the modern age, and it's just, you know, one of these days I might actually LP it by itself. But the original Assassin's Creed, there's some kind of mystical artifact that will allow, it's like vaguely quasi-religious, like it might be some kind of divine artifact from like God that was left on Earth or something, but it will allow you to like control the minds of other people. And as you're playing through the game, you're assassinating these members of this what's called the Order of the Templar, who are this sort of secret brotherhood, kind of Illuminati type guys who are trying to rule the world, and they all have these positions of power, and they support each other, but they're hunting for the fragments of this device which will allow them to gain total power over the world. And the only other people who even know about it are the assassins who are trying to stop the Templar. So what you come to find out, and there's a spoiler at the end of that game where not all is as it seems, and there's probably no point in me revealing that in case I ever want to play it myself. But what you come to find out is that in the real world, the people who have kidnapped you and are using you and controlling you and manipulating you are in fact the Templar, because the Templar still exist. They've been around since the Renaissance and before. They're like this enduring, like I said, they're Illuminati, and now they're still in positions of power and secretly running everything, but they've kidnapped you. And even though your ancestors were a member of the assassins who were fighting the Templar, they've kidnapped you and are using your, because you don't actually remember anything about, you're just some dude, and like you're actually like a douchebag in a hoodie. That's the worst part. You're like some white dude in a hoodie walking around. Like, I really loathed your character, and they're using your genetic memory to like figure out super secret shit. And they're trying to piece together information. And at the very, very end of the game, if you do the right things, at the end of the game, they roll the credits, and you don't actually get to escape, but you can wander around, and you gain assassin vision because you've learned the secrets of your own assassin past. So at the very end of the game, you can go around, and there's like these little Easter eggs, like, they got like crazy Masonic symbols that you can only see with assassin vision, and it's a weird ending. Oh, and the jerk guy, I guess he just leaves, and I guess he's still alive, but he wanders off. But the cute chick who's actually nice to you reveals that she is actually a member of the Assassin's Guild, and they are also still around, and she has infiltrated the Templar organization and is trying to like help you. So there you go. And at the end of the game, though, it's like the main story is the story of the assassin you're playing in flashback. But there's this linking story about some douchebag in a hoodie who's being, and that doesn't really resolve at all. And presumably in the later Assassin's Creed games, something happens with it, because I remember accidentally spoiling little bits of the story. I know that some of the characters we saw in Assassin's Creed 1 as part of the modern story end up getting killed over the course of some of the sequels. I don't know if the Assassin's Creed story resolves in the previous games or what, but in this one, we start playing as some dude back in the day, in the pirate days, the part that I actually care about and I'm interested in. Now, we're in a first-person perspective view, so we don't even get to see what our character looks like. And we're wandering around and we're trying to figure out what's going on. But at this point, if you've never played any of the games before, I guess, even talking about the previous games is spoiling a little. You wouldn't know what's going on. But having played Assassin's Creed, you already are thinking, okay, this technology to explore genetic memories was introduced earlier. Now, some people are asking me to use it, and, why? What exactly is going on? Who are these people? Is this the evil Templars? What's up? Well, I guess we'll find out what's up in the next video, because my own explanations just took too long. And you can't really, as far as I know, actually stop the game during these sequences. You can't save it and jump in during them the way that you can during the regular game. And if there's any point in the game where I would actually need to use a FAQ, it's to make sure I do everything right in these sequences, because I remember in the original Assassin's Creed, you have these sort of free roaming periods where you're wandering around in this lab that you're trapped in, between bits of the actual exciting part of the story with assassins and stuff in the Crusades. And at one point, you can go back into your assassin memories, or you can wander around. And if you wander around, you get the opportunity, which you don't always have to take, to actually do stuff in the lab, and it affects the end of the game. And I always felt, and I think the first time through I didn't actually realize that, and I just kept jumping back into the assassins portions because that was interesting, but it actually affected the ending, and I didn't get to see all the stuff at the end. Didn't make a huge difference, but whatever. So I might have to hit a FAQ and make sure there's nothing that you have to do during these sections other than follow their directions. Regardless, folks, when we come back, we are following around some kind of, vaguely attractive chick in sort of a slightly dressed down version of office wear, like, and we got a very fancy office. It's kind of a Google Overlords type of thing, not a traditional office. You got people wearing casual type clothes. What's going on? Are we at a hospital? Are we in an office? I know where we're not. We're not on a pirate ship, so hopefully next time we'll get back in the pirate direction. But I'm the Serious JG. I want to thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. R.